Today, I've got something special for you. Not one, but two MacBooks from eBay. Now we've got a 2015 MacBook Pro, 15-inch, and we have a MacBook Air. I believe it's let me just check the listing, a 2011 MacBook Air 13-inch. So I paid $100 for the MacBook Air, and I paid $360 for the MacBook Pro. Now, these are both pretty good prices. The MacBook Air specifically, MacBook Airs up until recently haven't really been very good, and this is a very old one, so $100 for that computer isn't an amazing deal, but they still go for maybe about $150 or so, so it was still a decent deal. I couldn't pass it up. The MacBook Pros of that Air probably go for about $100 to $150 more, depending on condition, even more sometimes, so it was still a good deal. So without further ado, let's unbox these MacBooks. Alright, so we're gonna just begin by unboxing this. Like I said, there's two MacBooks in here. 2015 MacBook Pro and a 2011 MacBook Air. Now the package is, as you can kind of see, it's pretty banged up, and I can hear the Macs kind of loose in there. Well, so I'm hoping they're packaged decently. I hope there was no damage or anything. Let's see what we got here, though. So we got some bubble wrap stuff that's half popped, so that's not great. Okay, so both MacBooks are not a lot of packaging. Not impressed here with the packaging. Both MacBooks are just kind of saran wrapped to each other with no packaging in between them. So that's not great at all. But we'll see how they fared. I've seen worse packaging. All right. Honestly, the outside of they look good on the outside. Let me just kind of inspecting them. A few little scuffs and scratches. Honestly, most of it's just kind of dirt. That could be yeah, there's I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little dent in the corner. He mentioned that. Other than that, they do both look very good. So I'm gonna go ahead here and find my chargers, because I don't know where those are, and we'll get set up and we'll boot them up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I was searching around for a little while looking for a charger. I found a compatible MagSafe. However, this only works in the MacBook Air because it's the old style one. Luckily, I happened to find on hand a brand new adapter that converts this old adapter to the newer MagSafe. So that's perfect. I can use this charger for both laptops then. Unfortunately, not at the same time, so I'll have to wait for them both to charge up a little bit. But they might have charge to begin with. So we're gonna test that out before we even plug them in, and let's just see. So that was a minor hiccup, but luckily we have the supplies on hand. So to start things off, I'm gonna go ahead and try out the MacBook Air. I don't know if it has any power, or if it even works at all. So we're just gonna go ahead and open it up for the first time on camera here. So the first thing, okay, it turned on. Ooh, that's interesting. So we got a password here. Apple. Oh, cool. All right, so the password was Apple. Easy enough. And wow, so it's just completely on. It looks good. I don't see any problems off the bat. The screen looks good. The keyboard, we'll have to run some tests, but honestly, let me try out the volume. I'll have to find some files and stuff to play and connect to the internet, but so far the MacBook Air is looking good. And just to make sure it is what he said it is a 13-inch mid 2011 1.7 gigahertz Intel Core i5 with 4 gigs of RAM, and of course the integrated Intel graphics. So this actually looks great, and it is running High Sierra. This is probably as high as it can go, I'm thinking, which is fine. Yeah, that's definitely, I gotta connect to the internet. But yeah, that's fantastic so far. I mean, no problems. Let me just shut her down for now. That's weird. All right, well, whatever. And we'll have to clean it up, but the screen looks good, honestly. We'll do some extensive cleaning after this, but I just wanted to get that first kind of boot up type thing going there. As you can see, I took the fan cover off and the fan assembly, and it's actually not too bad in there, dust-wise. We're still going to clean it out, but it's certainly not bad. Now, what we did just take off is the heatsink, and the thermal paste is, as I would imagine, pretty crusty. You know, it's kind of just flaking away. It's not super dry, but we're still going to clean that up and put some new thermal paste on here. Also, you can see where the fan kind of pulled in a lot of air here. There's a lot of dust that we got to get rid of. So we'll work on that, and yeah. If I may, I'd like to love you, I'd like to love you, I'd like to love you night and day, if I may. I'd like to. I'd like to love you. All right, so here is the 2015 MacBook Pro. This one is the one I'm most concerned about because it's obviously the most expensive, and this one seemed to have more possibilities of delamination on the screen. But as well as this is one of the more sought after MacBooks. The 2015 was the last of this specific style of MacBook. The ones with all the ports until they brought them back with the current Macs now. But this was sought after for many years after the whole mess with the 2016 Macs and the butterfly keyboards and just the no ports. So this was great. And so yeah, I'm gonna open this one, see if it has any charge. Again, I'm paying, if it does boot, hopefully, I'm paying most close attention to the screen because I'm very worried about the quality of the screen. So let's open it up. Ooh. Okay. So I'm liking that he set this up with a password. All right, cool. But at least we are in MacBook Pro. So we got, MacBook Pro, Retina, 15-inch, mid-2015, 2.5 gigahertz, Core i7, 16 gigabytes of RAM, Intel Iris Pro graphics, which is, again, exactly what he says it is. He's got the cycle counts, 267, which is what I read in the listing. That screen, though, is very concerning, just like I thought. Let me go grab a cloth or something. So I found this technique off camera, so I've just been doing this for like 15 minutes to remove the all the delamination from the screen. And I read that you can use either baby wipes or Listerine and just rub for a long time all over to remove all the delamination. Now what this is going to do is it's going to remove all the splotchiness, but it's going to take away, I believe it's just like an anti-glare coat. So the screen is going to be a little bit more reflective, but it's actually going to look a lot better. And I can already tell it's actually taking a lot of that splotchiness away. So didn't have time to set up the camera, but I will update when we finish this, and it should look a lot better. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So after a little more research, I found that on top of the Listerine, you can actually use baby wipes to clear off some of the existing delamination issues. The Listerine was working really well. I had to scrub at it for a long time, but I've heard mixed results. I heard that the baby wipes work better, and so I've kind of just been doing a mix, but right now I've just been going at it with the baby wipes. And yeah, the screen, as you can see, this screen is looking really nice. It was, before you'd have it on and you just see, even at full brightness, you'd see these like streaky splotchiness. You saw it in the beginning of the video. I think hopefully you can see it. But now, you can only really see it when you look at it when the screen's off. You can't see it at all when it's on anymore. So this has at least made just a world of difference. So I definitely recommend for anybody, with a 2010 to 2015, that's the kind of the era where these Macs suffer from this delamination. Just get some Listerine and like a cloth, or just some baby wipes, or both, and just spend some time just really looking in the light and just scrubbing this whole screen down, and you'll start to see that it really cleans up, and you don't have to worry about getting a whole screen replacement or anything. It's not bad. right, we're done. And what's the verdict? Well, we'll get to that, but first, a message from my sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by iFixit. The ProTech Toolkit features 64 bits that let you tackle just about any tech project there is. Everything you need to completely dismantle anything from your old Game Boy to MacBooks, phones, and even household appliances. This kit also comes with a portable case containing a variety of larger tools you might need, such as pry tools, tweezers, anti-static straps, and a complement of other tools. I've been using this set as well as dozens of other iFixit products for years, and nothing beats their quality and commitment to right to repair. This is, without a doubt, the very best driver set you can get for electronic repairs. Better yet, enter the code BELDY22 at checkout to receive 10% off your purchase. Now, back to the video. So here I'm running the CPU test on Geekbench 5. On the left, we've got my 2020 M1 Mac. In the middle, we've got the 2011 MacBook Air. And on the right, we've got the 2015 MacBook Pro. So obviously the M1 should finish way faster, and then followed by the Pro, and then lastly the Air. So the M1 Pro, that's finished by the way, but even when it was running, it wasn't running the fans at all. I can see it up there. Still 40 degrees Celsius. Right, and we just had the Pro, 2015 Pro finish. Its fans it's running at 60 degrees Celsius, and the fans are at almost maximum speed right now, so those things are chugging. The Air, still chugging along there. So, obviously the Air finished with the lowest score. We got a single core score of 522 as opposed to the 2015 MacBook Pro with a score of 901, and then a whopping 1734 on the M1 MacBook Pro. And then the multi-core score, obviously once again the Air with 1102, 2015 Pro 3621, and the M1 Pro 7363. That's fantastic. And again, the M1 didn't even bat an eye. Didn't break a sweat. Fans didn't turn on at all. CPU didn't even get remotely hot. Meanwhile, the 2015 MacBook Pro was just on full blast. And the Air, you're not going to complete. You're not going to be able to compete at all with that. But still, respectable scores for each machine. Okay, so now we're running the GPU benchmark in Geekbench 5. The MacBook Air didn't even support it, so we're just running the two MacBook Pros, the M1 2020 and the 2015 Pro. All right, so the M1 Mac is already finished, and obviously the 2015 MacBook Pro has a dedicated AMD GPU, whilst the M1 is just integrated into the Apple Silicon. So the 2015 has a little bit of an advantage, but 7 years old still. So yeah, I mean, a surprising result actually, but not completely unexpected. The M1 MacBook Pro 2020, with its integrated graphics in the Silicon, beat the 2015 MacBook Pro by about double. We got 191.91 on the M1 and 107.98 on the 2015 Pro. But again, really respectable scores still. I mean, that's a good score on the 2015. And that's, again, thanks to the dedicated GPU. Even though it's still 7 years old, it's still a dedicated GPU. And that means that you're still going to be able to get not only light browsing, but, you can do maybe some Photoshop, some video editing, probably not 4K, but, 1080p video editing. You can do some decent work on it still, albeit you're going to burn your lap a little bit in the process, because it does ramp up its fans. It gets very hot, but it's still a respectable machine, so I'm quite pleased with the results. Well, all right, here we are, and what's the verdict? Well, we've got two pretty good looking MacBooks. They both came out looking really, really good. The the MacBook Air looks almost flawless. Aside from a few scuffs and scratches, it looks great. The MacBook Pro, same thing, a little bit more. There's some little scratching and stuff right here, and a few dings, but nothing more than a little bit of wear and tear you'd expect from 7 to 10-year-old laptops. So they're great. They're both running very, very cool, pretty quiet. The new thermal paste definitely helped a lot with that. And performance-wise, again, very shocking. Surprisingly, they both perform well to really well. The MacBook Air I didn't think it was, I thought it was going to be noticeably like laggy, but no, it's very usable by today's standards for at least some, normal browsing, what you'd normally do on a computer. And the MacBook Pro actually is good for, like, you could use this for power. A power user could use this today. It's still quite impressive how fast this is, especially with its dedicated AMD GPU. So yeah, both great. And the screen on this thing, I mean, you can tell the difference, I think, from here. I mean, it's a world of difference. It looks great. You really have to look for that streaking from the delamination to actually spot it. Whereas before, even at full brightness, it was distracting. You could notice it. So I'm happy with how that screen turned out, and I'm happy with how both computers have turned out. The hinge on the Air is a little loose. I think I can fix that. The Pro's hinge is actually tighter than my M1 MacBook Pro. So this thing is great. And yeah, I am just really pleased with how they turned out. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and tell me in the comments below what MacBook you're running, if any. Is it the latest and greatest? Is it a 2011 MacBook Air? Or something in between. So let me know. Again, thanks so much for watching, and catch you in the next one. Bye.